Welcome back to Civil Conclave presentation, dear friends. Today we are going to discuss about field and laboratory test procedures for cement and steel. That means reinforcement. Please take a note of it. When the lot of steel received at site, first check the manufacturer test certificates and its properties. With each lot of steel, manufacturers always send a test certificate of the same lot for the test done at the laboratory. Check the grade of the steel mentioned in the certificate and is it for the order or not. You check it out. Steel bars may have a rusting on it. Do check closely whether is it acceptable or not. Steel received from the factory should be free from contamination like a mud, dust, oil, etc. Bar should not have any splits or any other deformation on it. Causes of rust. Primary steel which is made from pure iron ore are likely to get rusted quicker compared to the secondary steel. Bars maybe get rusted due to contact with the water or a moisture atmospheric condition. A brownish bar showing a little rusting due to weathering are good for use. Small amount of rust is good for bonding of steel of the concreting. If excessive rusting or scaling observed, it should not be accepted. Report to the higher authorities for a necessary action. Do check the brand, dia, and grade of the steel has been marked in the reinforcement. Cut as soon as the material received at the site. Cut 1 meter length exactly. Minimum of 4 bars from different bundle. Okay. Weigh the bar on scale and record its weight on your register. Calculate the average weight per meter of a bar for at least 3 samples. Compare the result with the theoretical weight given by NIS 1786. Tolerance for nominal mass as per 1786. Up to including 10 dia, it might be plus or minus 7%. Over 10 to up to 16 dia, it is plus or minus 5%. Over 16 dia, it should be plus or minus 3%. Check the variation line is within the limit and as per the IS specification. After finding the result, if the normal mass is satisfactory, proceed for the bend test. Bend test should be carried out as per IS 1599 and using mandrels are specified in IS 1786. See the mandrel diameter test of the bar. Okay. Up to and including 20 dia bar. For Fe 415, it should be 3 dia. Fe 41 die is 2 dia. Fe 500, it should be 500 dia. 4 dia. Fe 500D will be 3 dia. Fe 550 will be 5 dia. Fe 550D will be 4 dia. Fe 600 will be 5 dia. Over 20 mm dia bars. For Fe 415, it is a 4 dia. Fe 415D, it is to be 3 dia. Fe 500 will be 5 dia. Fe 500D will be 4 dia. Fe 550 will be 6 dia. Fe 550D will be 5 dia. Fe 600 will be 6 dia. Where dia is a nominal size of the test piece in millimeter. Okay. Rebar shall be bent at the 180 degree as mentioned IS 1599. Here you can see this is the mandrail. Now you put the reinforcement and bend it. Okay. After this, a further process has been bent till 180 degree like this, giving the pressure on the top and bottom. So you get it at 180 degree. At site, we can bend the same reinforcement using the appropriate mandrel as shown in the picture. After bending the bar, check the surface of the bar opposite to the bend side. That means when you bend, it is inside, so you have to look for outside for cracks or rupture visible. If there is no sign, it meets the bend test. Further to this test, a rebend test also has to be done if it is required. IS specify for doing it, but if it is passes the bend test, it generally passes the rebend test also. For rebend test, what is the procedure? First, bend the bar, including angle of 135 degree. Keep it in boiling water at 100 degree for 30 minutes. Then cool it for some time. After cooling, bend it back, including angle of 157.5 degree. The rebar should not show any rupture or a cracks. Mandrel to be used for the rebend test shall be as per 1786. See here, I show you the table. Up to 10 mm, mandrel for FE415 and FE500, 5 dia, 4 dia. If FE550 and FE600 will be 7 dia. Dia of the mandrel will be 6 dia. If it is more than 10 mm, it should be 7 dia for FE415 and FE500, 6 dia for FE415D and FE500D. FE550 and FE600 will be 8 dia, and for FE550D it will be 7 dia. See, this is a methodology of doing the bending and rebending test. I show you the picture. This is a main bar. Bend it to the angle of 135 degree. Okay. Then rebend it for at the rate of 137 degree. First you take up, then bring it down. If you notice any cracks or anything in the specimen, just report to your senior for a necessary action. Okay. After getting a satisfactory approval, you can start using it. Okay. Keep practicing these third-party laboratory tests for every 100 or 200 tons as per your management or your contract condition. Generally, we used to do 25 and 32 mm bend and rebend test at a third party personally. Okay. When sometimes which has been happened, failed at my site, it may pass in the third party also. Okay. So my suggestions to all the engineers, personally involve yourself in getting the bend and rebend test. Now, how will you check the quality of the cement when it received at site? When we know that when the concreting fails, the main culprit may be the cement. It is important to check the quality of the cement when it is received at the site and ensure there is no failure due to the bad quality of the cement. Cement has been generally transported in the bags and the bulk car. When cement reaches a site, do check the following to ensure the quality of the cement is good. Check the ISI mark in the cement bag. Okay. Check the cement manufacturing details printed on the bag, which is inclusive week, month, and the year of the manufacturing. Let us say when week 1 start, on which day is the calendar? Week 1 start on the 1st January of the year. The day first date will be followed as the start of the week. Say 1st January is Tuesday, then the week also start on every Tuesday. After checking the manufacturing detail, do check how much cement in it. It is advised to consume the cement within the 3 months of the manufacturing date. Okay. Printing of manufacturing week on bag happens after bag is loaded with the cement in a conveyor, through which bags are sent to the dispatch. Printing is automatically done. So sometimes you may get bags in which the manufacturing details are not printed correctly. Okay. Such cases, you should inform your senior authorities to talk to the manufacturer and sort out the issue. Check the weight of the bags randomly. In India, cement industry won't care for the quality control once it is departed from the unit. Cement is transported to the storage unit all over India, maximum through the time. Due to improper handling and puncturing of the cement bags at multiple locations, there is a possibility that the cement bags won't weigh exactly 50 kg. Generally, what we consider a bag is consists of 150 kg, where it might not be. So it is important to check the weight of the bag randomly so that your design mix calculation and everything has been based on a 50 kg cement. So it is better to check the back of the cement. After verifying the freshness on cement, we can further inspect for engineering properties. Check the temperature of the cement in the bag. Sometimes you may receive a hot cement in bag. It does not mean the hydration process is started in it. When cement is directly loaded after manufacturing, it may heat up to 50 degree. In such cases, store the cement for 2 to 3 days before using it, which will help you in cooling the cement. Okay. This happens when water is more than supply of cement. If you use a hot cement, false set may occur in concreting produced with it, which means the concreting will be stiff after mixing it. To regain the plasticity, remixing has to be done, or mixing time of such a concreting need to be increased. Check the physical properties. Color of the cement. It depends mostly on the color of a limestone, which is used for manufacturing. Okay. Cement towards off-white shade does not mean it is bad or have more fly ash or any other additive. Example, AAC cement. It have a whitish limestone. The color is slightly faint than the gray shade. Color of cement is general form of a shade, a gray or maybe dark or maybe faint. Okay, you should know why it is faint or dark. Okay, so that you know, because it's all based on the lime used. Smoother. When you take some cement in your fingers and rubbed it, it should be feel silky. It should not have any roughness. If roughness has been observed, check the fineness of the cement. Lumps. Lumps forms in bags due to dead weight, or it called as a soft lump, which we break the bag. Hard lumps forms due to the hydration of the cement, due to the moisture contact or a direct contact in water while transportation or rainwater. Okay. In that case, the cement should be rejected. Contamination. Take a handful of cement and throw it in the water. It should float for a while before sink it in the water. If it is directly sink into the water, the cement has been adulterated. Okay. Consistency. It shows general the water demand by cement. More it demand, higher the water. Cementation goes as in a vice versa. In a general standard consistency, ranges between 27 to 34 degrees. Older cement shows lower water demand due to the hydration of the cement. Add less finer cement tends to a less water demand. Consistency of the cement had to be tested plus or minus 27 to 2 degrees as per IS 4031 part 4. Okay. No need to worry if your laboratory is not ready for your consistency check and everything. You can get it done by the external laboratory also. Compressive check. A good engineer always check the consistent compressive strength of the cement of every batch it is received. As the lab conditions are not standard in case of the most of the site, engineer can compare his result with the previous result of the same cement under the same condition. Ensure that you had a standard laboratory is installed at the site. Cement received in bunker. Loose cement sent in bulkers do not have a manufacturing details printed on it. You need to verify by reading the details from the delivery challan. This challan always mention the serial number which is printed. Before opening the seals, do verify the numbers written on the seal and the challan are same. After verifying it, the same process we use to inspect the bag. Preserving sample from each lot. It is advisable to preserve a sample of every bulker so that whenever there is a concreting failure has happened, you can verify back and you can check with your manufacturer how it is to be given, and you can run around laboratory tests to find out whether the cement is good or not. Failure in concreting may occur due to many possibilities such as storage conditions, batching condition, cube casting error, etc. The following tests are conducted on cement at the laboratory as follows: fineness test, consistency test, setting time, strength test, soundness, heat of hydration, tensile strength, chemical composition test. See, generally 6 laboratory tests are conducted for ascertaining the quality of the cement. The tests have been already identified. The purpose of this test is to determine the percentage of water required for the cement paste. Take a 300 grams of cement, add 30% weight or 90 gram water to it. Mix the water and cement thoroughly. Fill the mold in Vicaritas apparatus and the gauging time should be 3.75 to 4.25 minutes. Bicket apparatus consists of a needle is attached to a movable rod with an indicator attached to it. There are 3 attachments in the Bicket apparatus: square needle, plunger, and a needle with a annular collar. The plunger attached to the movable rod. The plunger is generally lowered on the paste to the mold. The settlement of the plunger is noted. If the penetration is between 5 to 7 mm from the bottom of the board, the water is added is correct. If not, process has to be different for a different type of a percentage of water to desired penetration is obtained. Setting time. This test is used to detect the deterioration of the cement due to the storages. This test also performed to find out initial and final setting time. Cement mixed with the water and cement paste is filled in the Bicket mold. Square needle is attached to moving rod of Bicket apparatus. The needle is quickly released and allowed to penetrate the cement. Initial setting time, less than 30 minutes for ordinary Portland elements and 60 mm for low weight cement. The cement paste prepared to be filled in the Bicket mold. The needle with the annular collar is attached to the moving rod of the Bicket apparatus. The needle generally released. Final setting time is depend upon your water added and is to be recorded less than 10 hours. Soundness. The purpose of this test is to detect presence of uncombined lime in the cement. The cement paste is prepared. The mold is placed and is filled with the cement paste. It is covered at the top with the other glass plate. A small weight is placed at the top and the whole assembly is submerged in water for 24 hours. The distance between before immersing in the water and after immersing in the water has to be recorded. and heat has to be applied for 30 minutes. The boiling water has to be 1 hour. The mold is removed from the water and allowed to cool down. The distance between the 2 points of the indicator is again measured. The difference between the two reading indicates the expansion, and it should not exceed more than 10 mm. See, this is a Bicket apparatus. See here, release pin, indicator, non-porous plate, split ring. This is a square needle, movable rod, okay, plunger for a standard consistency, okay. This is an enlarged view of the Bicket apparatus. Fineness of the cement. Fineness of the cement is a measure of cement particle size and is denoted in the name of specific surface of the cement. The test has been done by sieving a cement test sample in the ISC. The weight of the cement particle, whose size is greater than 90 micron, is determined and the percentage of the remaining particles are calculated. This is known as fineness of the cement. Material required for this: weight balance, 90 micron sieve lid, shear shaker. The reference will be as per IS code 4031 1996. Result: the standard value of the fineness of the cement should have a fineness less than 10%, or finenesses should not be more than 10% as per the standard. Consistency test. The consistency of cement paste defined as a percentage of water added to the 300 grams of weight of the cement, which will permit the plunker having 50 mm length and 10 mm diameter to penetrate the cement to a depth of 33 to 35 mm from the top of the mold. This is a needle, this is a mold. You have to refer the code 5513 and 4031. Result: the standard consistency of the cement paste generally varies from 25 to 35%. Initial and final setting time. Initial setting time give an idea about how far the cement can start losing its plasticity. And the final setting time of the cement gives the idea about how much time it takes to lose its full plasticity and gain the strength to resist the pressure. Initial setting time of the cement. It is a time elapsed between the moments that the water is added to the cement to the time of paste started losing its plasticity. Final setting of the cement. It is a time elapsed between the moment the water is added to the cement and the time when cement paste loses its plasticity completely and has attained firmness to resist certain definite pressure. As per IS 4031, the initial final setting time is calculated using Bicket apparatus conforming IS 5513. As per standards, the initial setting time of the cement should be less than 30 minutes and it should not exceed more than 600 minutes for a OPC cement. Soundness test. This test indicates the stability of any cement during the volume change in the process of setting and hardening. In case of volume change in cement is unstable after setting and hardening, the concreting element will crack, which can affect the quality of the structure. You can refer IS code 4031 part 3. Result: the soundness is calculated L1 minus L2 for the types of ordinary OPC, rapid, low heat, PPC, and high ammonia sheet. High aluminium cement should not exceed 10 mm. Heat of hydration. During the curing of concreting, hydrothermal reaction takes place, resulting the production of the heat because of the chemical reaction. The rise of heat in concreting could be as high as 50 degree centigrade. In order to reduce the heat, low heat cement is used. The test is carried out using a calorimeter as a principal heat gauge. IS code 4031 1968. Result: it has been standardized that low heat cement should be generate the heat of 65 calories per gram of cement in 7 days and 75 grams per gram is for the duration of 28 days. Specific gravity. The specific gravity of the cement is defined by mass of the cement of a specified volume to the mass of the water of the same volume of content. It can be defined as the density of the cement to the density of the water. So the required, you require large circular flask, cement, funnel, and corrosive. You can refer IS code 2720 part 3 for a detailed procedure. The specific gravity of the cement is 1440 kgs per cubic meter. Around the value, the cement is gravity is considered to be the standard and is good for a construction. Tensile strength of the cement. The tensile strength of the cement is the maximum load that cement is hardened with can withstand without a fracture when the tension is applied. The equipment used in CTM machine. It is necessary to check the tensile of the cement of a concreting because concreting structure are highly prone to the tensile concreting due to various kinds of load is applied. The reference code is IS 456 2000. Okay, gives the formula for calculating the tensile strength. Generally the tensile strength of the cement is between 3 to 5 MPa. Chemical composition. This is to find out how much silica, aluminium, magnesia, and everything, for which we use a flame photometer. Code is IS 269 1998. Okay. Result: a good cement will have the following result. Lime should be 62%, silica is 22%, alumina 7.5%, magnesia 2.5%, other components will be 6%. The laboratory test for a reinforcement. Tensile test on MS specimen. Equipments required: universal testing machine. Okay, this is a universal testing machine with the 2 gauges. If the tensile strength of the mild spin specimen, usually in a rain bar, pulled on a testing machine until it breaks. 2 points, which is called as the gauge points, are marked in the central position. The distance between these points before the application of the load is called as a gauge length of the specimen. The load is applied gradually and at regular interval. The load of the extension has to be measured. The strains corresponding to the recording extension are calculated by dividing the extension by the gauge length, while the stresses are calculated by dividing the loads by original area of cross section. Stresses so arrived as a called nominal stress to distinguish from the actual stress, which is obtained by dividing the load at a particular instant by the area of cross section of the instant. Limit of proportionality, it is limiting values, stresses up to which stress is proportional in strain. Elasticity cement, this is a limiting value. Here I show you the image: stress in the x-axis, strain in the y-axis. Conventional stress, true stresses. Okay. The point is slightly beyond LOP. Upper yield point. This is a stress at which the load is decreasing and strain increases. This phenomena is known as yielding of material. Stress is 250 neutron per mm square. Strain is 0.125%. Lower yield point. At this point, the stress remains constant, but the strain increases for some time. Ultimate stress. This is the maximum stress the material can resist, because always we calculate all our design calculation based on a UTS, ultimate stress. At this stage, cross section of the area, the particular section start reducing very fast. This is called a neck formation. After this, load has resisted and hence the stress develop start reducing. That is 370 to 400 Newton per mm square. Breaking point. That is E. Strain is 20 to 25%. See here, I given the observation table. The mild steel, bar diameter, greater, lesser or equal to 20 mm, 250, ultimate strength 410, minimum elongation is 23%. Okay, like this, you have to verify this table. Now come to the compression test, for which you require a universal testing machine. Okay, place the specimen in the position in between the compression pads. Okay, gradually increase the load until it is freeze. Drawing a stress and strain diagram, we can determine the Young's modulus in compression and ultimate compression in strain. Bending test. Equipments required: UTM or a beam apparatus, bending fixture, vernier calipers, meter rod, test piece, dial gauge. See, this is the methodology of how to apply the load, and everything has been shown here. Shear test. Equipment required: universal testing machine, shear test attachment, and the specimen. Insert the specimen upside down, that is one end at the top, another at the bottom. After switching on the UTM, bring the drag indicator in connect with the main indicator. Select the suitable range of loads and space the corresponding weight in the pendulum, and the balance if it is necessary with the help of small balancing weight. Push the button for driving the motor to drive the pump. Gradually move the head control over in left-hand direction till the specimen shears. Note down the load at which the specimen shears. Formula: sigma is equal to 4W divided by 2 pi d square. Thank you for watching this presentation. Kindly subscribe, like and share, which will motivate me for a further good presentation. In case of any queries, do not hesitate to write to me. The response shall be at the earliest. You can contact me at civilconclave@gmail.com or at my Telegram group, Civil Conclave Telegram group. The link has been shown here. Thank you for watching this presentation. Looking forward for the next presentation. Thank you.